Don't you just hate it when something doesn't look anything like you expected? Take this brilliant image of The Division. Looks lovely, doesn't it? Photorealistic even. Only it's not an image of The Division. This is an image of the fucking Division. This picture was released long before the game itself ever came out, and once the game released, we all saw what The Division actually looked like, and it's not like this. Yet, the image is still in use well over 6 months after the game came out, promoting the game on its Steam store page. And if you ask me, that's just misrepresenting what the game looks like. Fake screenshots like this, or bullshots, have been banned from the Steam store by Valve. The company confirmed on Wednesday, November the 2nd, that as part of the upcoming Steam Discovery Update 2.0, it wants all promotional screenshots displayed on its store pages to properly represent what the games they're supposed to be taken from actually look like. You know, kind of like screenshots. So that means no more pictures like this for games that actually look like this. Now this should be music to the ears of anyone who has bought a game, because it's long been an industry accepted standard to use highly doctored images to get audiences excited for what a game could look like long before release. It's a false promise that's never spelled out, only implied. Obviously embellishment and exaggeration are part and parcel of the advertising industry, but the games industry just takes it one step too far in my opinion. The use of bullshots is so widespread and so accepted that we rarely question it unless a game turns out to be a steaming pile of wank. The industry does everything it can to persuade us to buy games before they're even released, and when you've got companies like Bethesda withholding review copies, we have no idea what these games are actually like until pretty much the day of release. Games are exciting by their very nature, and companies do everything they can to cultivate that before the game is even released. Bullshots are a huge part of generating that excitement. They're allowed to spread through the internet. They're used as thumbnails on YouTube channels, to sit alongside articles on gaming websites, not to mention on actual retailers' store pages. Everything from concept art to enhanced screenshots are generally placed under the same umbrella as actual screenshots for games when it comes to promotional images. So while games companies may not explicitly claim that this is what their game looks like, they never say it's not what it looks like either. Let's take a look at No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky and Hello Games are currently under investigation in the UK by the Advertising Standards Authority. They genuinely are being investigated for misleading consumers with their marketing material in the run-up to launch. That was following complaints by consumers about the screenshots and advertising trailers present on the store page and elsewhere that just do not give an accurate representation of what the game looks like or even plays like. And yet that marketing material is still on the Steam store page. It's madness. But in all likelihood, this is the big fat straw that broke the digital distribution platform's back. This is probably what pushed Valve into action. This is probably what made them take some responsibility over the issue and try and stamp down on these misleading bullshots. Under Valve's new rules, this kind of bullshot will not be allowed. That means no more concept art or pre-rendered stills will be allowed on the image carousel on the top of each game's Steam store page. This will hopefully also mean an end to the carefully altered and enhanced screenshots that developers and publishers use to promote their games. These images massively overblow the graphical fidelity of a game on many occasions and mislead consumers into thinking that these video games look way better than they actually do. Valve has even stood up and taken some of the blame themselves for the prevalence of bullshots on its Steam pages, telling Eurogamer that it had not been super crisp in its guidelines for screenshots in the past. The company even admitted fault on its own games where it used concept art to promote titles like Dota 2, and it's now even using its own mistakes there to show publishers and developers what not to do when promoting their games. What Valve is doing is all-round great news for us as consumers. The games industry has a big problem with misrepresentation. I wouldn't say lies, but misrepresentation, particularly when it comes to the marketing and promotion of video games. We should all applaud Valve, which, to be fair, is far from a perfect company, for what it's trying to do here. Hopefully publishers will take note of this pushback against bullshots and misleading marketing materials and just try and be a bit more honest when it comes to promoting their games. Gamers appreciate honesty, and they certainly do not put as much stock into graphics as I think a lot of companies actually believe. Thanks very much for watching. Do remember to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. For more intellectual think pieces on video games like this, stick around with Pretty Good Gaming.